Hey, what is up guys? It is Calum, or Calum's Fish Tanks, and today we're going to be watching my 40 breeder go from this to something a little more like this. So to start off, I'm going to be trimming plants that I want to replant into the next tank and treating them with hydrogen peroxide so they don't carry any algae or anything like that over into the tank when I reset it up. So anyways, let's get started with that. What I have for that is a Tupperware container, a spray bottle that is filled with hydrogen peroxide, a pair of scissors, and a waste basket for all the plants that I'm not going to use in the next scape. So anyways, let's get started and I'll show you guys when I'm done most of that. As you can see right now, the tank is currently a mess. I've removed the Stargoni repens, the Crypts, a couple of the Bucephalandras, and a bit of the Limnophilia, but I just wanted to show you how crazy this Bucephalandra is. It's about 7 inches long, and it's like trailing outwards and still getting new growth on it. But I'm definitely going to mix this with hydrogen peroxide and try to get rid of all this blackbeard algae. So anyways, I'll be back in a second. So it's only been five minutes, maybe max, from the last time I shot a video. But this Java fern I just removed is absolutely amazing. This plant started with about 3 leaves. I don't know how far back, but it's absolutely massive. It's at least got 30 leaves on it, and I accidentally split it too, so I've got 2 pieces of it. But this will definitely be having a big part in the next aquascape of this tank. So the tank is getting real dirty and really empty. Only a few more plants to remove, and they're all over here. And then I can start removing the driftwood and cleaning up the substrate a bit and catching the fish. So anyways, let's get started. As you guys are able to see, the aquarium looks wonderful. We're going to go ahead, start draining water, taking out the fish, cleaning off all the algae out of the glass, and picking up all those particles floating around. So I'll be right back after I get all the fish and I'm ready to start messing around with the substrate. So here's the tank now, fishless and nasty, but I'm gonna drain the water with the python and then I will get to work on the next part of the rescape. So yeah. So as you guys can see right now, I've removed most of the water, banked all the substrate up to one side. To remove all the extra water, I just used an old rag and wringed it out inside of a bucket over and over and over again till I got all the water my python could not get. And now I'm going to place a piece of cardboard, I don't know how well it'll work, to separate the gravel from the sand. So anyways, I'm going to do that and then show you guys the aftermath, if it's good or if it's bad. So here it is. It worked really well. I'm picking up the tripod for a sec, guys. As you can see, the dirt and the sand barely mixed. To do this, I just used some cardboard and some tape. The cardboard held up well, even though it was wet. The tape didn't stick very well, but the pressure of the sand and the dirt on the other side held it in place, so it gave me a pretty clean line. It looks a bit natural because it's not all clean, but yeah, anyways, now to start the hardscape. So here's what we're rolling with so far for hardscape. I'm using dragonstone and red moor root. I'm gonna leave this for 5 or 10 minutes and look at it because I can't really set it for a day, which I'd usually do, and just stare at the hardscape and decide if that's what I really want to do. But I can't today because I've got the fish in a bucket and I don't know how long I can keep them in there for. But I'm just gonna look at this and decide if this is really what I want to do. So yeah. So I pretty much left everything the same, and I'm going to start planting in this little corner. So far I threw in some of my narrow leaf Java fern, and now I'm going to plant some Echinodorus tenalis, or Pygmy chainsword, underneath. This stuff went crazy in the last time I did this tank, so hopefully it will do the same, but to an extent where I can control it. So I'm just planting it in here with my tweezers, and then making sure after I plant it to throw a bit of gravel back on top of it. And I've got quite a lot of this stuff, so I'm going to plant it in pretty thick. And yeah, I may plant it behind the large piece of dragonstone as well, but I'm not sure yet. And yeah, so I'll be back in just a second to show you guys. So I'm going to show you guys the reason this stuff is called Pygmy chainsword. As you can see, this is all one plant, and it's almost a foot long. So anyways, I'm going to get back to planting. You probably can't see it that well, but in the back, behind the large piece of dragonstone, around the trident java fern, I planted some bronze wendetii crypts. I planted them there because I wanted something tall, but not too tall, just enough to get over the wood. And it needed to be low light because of the way I'm going to position my light on top of this tank. So anyways, back to planting. So currently I've planted Rotala Bonsai, Alteranthera Reinikki mini, Limnophilia Aromatica, the Crypt wendetii, some Pygmy chainsword, the narrow leaf java fern, and a few pieces of Bucephalandra. And currently I'm working on planting Rotala Macrandra species green. Now this is a beautiful plant. It stays green on the bottom, but gets a really nice pink tip when it's getting high light. I had a hard time choosing where I'm going to place this because it's so similar in color to the Limnophilia Aromatica if it gets to the top. So I'm trying to keep it shorter so you can really, so it emphasizes more on the Limnophilia, and you don't have anything sort of blending in with it. So anyways, I'm going to get back to planting, and I'll update you guys in just a second for you guys. Here's what I got so far. I've got to say I'm really happy with it. Now I just got to plant in a lot of Monte Carlo, so that'll take a while. And after that, I get to fill up the tank, and I'll show you guys how that goes. Hopefully it goes well. I'm not very good at filling up tanks, to be honest. I usually turn them into a mess. But anyways, I'll go plant the Monte Carlo and be back in a sec. So now all the plants are planted, and I'm going to start the fill up. I'm going to do that by placing my python into the sand. Not into it, but around the area. But anyways, I'll get started with that right now. So I'm filling it up right now. As you can see, it's kind of stirring up the sand, but the sand's no problem as long as it doesn't stir up the gravel, which that'll make a mess. So anyways, I'll show you guys what it looks like once it's filled up all the way, and then I'll add the fish back in. They look like they're doing okay. Yeah, I hope this hurries up because I should get them back in here as soon as possible. But anyways, I'll catch you guys in just a second. So here's the tank filled. It's fairly murky, but it should clear up in just a couple of minutes or hours. But I'll show you guys it again once I have the fish in and it cleared up a bit more. So anyways, yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, so it's currently day 2. The water has cleared up quite a bit, and the tank is looking okay. Some of the plants aren't reacting as well as I hoped they would. I guess some didn't like the hydrogen peroxide. Some probably didn't like the cooler water, and some probably didn't like being out of the light for so long. For example, the Alteranthera Reinikki mini has lost all its red color, and it's all green now. The Baraclaya Longifolia completely melted back, but that's probably because of the cold water. I know this plant in the wild has a dormant period, and if the water gets too cold, it can kind of sink back into its bulb. But if it's not, just in case, I did a large water change so it doesn't release all its nutrients back into the water that it's gained throughout its lifetime. But hopefully that plant will bounce right back. And then also, the Echinodorus tenalis is showing a bit of deficiencies. I'll try to zoom in on that. As you can see, the leaves are looking pretty clear. Some are dying a bit, but that should be fine. The crypts, they seem okay, and all the fish seem to be doing fine. So, yeah, now I'm gonna give you guys kind of a tour of the tank, showing you all the plants I have in here, as well as just looking at some of the fish and the inhabitants. It's gonna be kind of a cinematic thing, so I won't really be talking at all. So yeah, I'm gonna do my outro now. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. This is Calum's Fish Tanks, and see you soon with more updates on the 40 breeder.